Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're down in Georgia hanging out with Eric with the crew from Iraq Veteran 8888, and we have some really cool stuff going on today. We're going to be playing with 300 Blackout. 300 Blackout is a relatively new cartridge on the market. It's gaining a lot of momentum, a lot of speed, and it's a cartridge that I've personally taken an interest in. I recently did some hog hunting with 300 Blackout. We're going to talk about that. In this video, we're going to talk about using the 300 Blackout for hunting purposes, taking a look at some ballistics and stuff like that. Eric here is going to have another video that he's going to post on his channel where we're going to talk about using the 300 Blackout perhaps in defensive situations and how it might be used in those roles. So it's a two-part series. I highly encourage you guys to go over and check out his video. I'll put a link down below. But meanwhile, Eric, what do you say? You want to get busy and do some shooting?
I think so.
All right, let's do it.
Sounds like fun.
It does sound like fun. First up, guys, 170 grain controlled fracturing. This is gas gun friendly. It'll run semi-automatics. We're shooting bare gelatin because we're simulating a hunting situation. This is subsonic. Let's go take a look.
Not bad, Tim.
Wow, look at that, man. Okay, so it looks like the base at least made it all the way through the block.
Yep.
I see little shards, the sides of the projectile split off. About 3.5 inches in. So we see really wild expansion right here in the first 3 inches.
Yeah, and then your circumference of spread is roughly about the entire diameter of the block. Roughly, maybe short of a 1/2 inch on either side. That looks like about 5 inches all around, about a 5-inch circumference. So you got all of those little petals creating their own individual wound tracks, making some pretty nasty stuff going on. Really good permanent cavitation going on there.
Yeah, you see the wound track, really nice thick wound track all the way down. We see another expansion point where it blows out once again, and it's about 9 inches into the gel. And then we see the nose of the projectile down here, which is just a little over 10 inches in, and then the base made it all the way out.
Good stuff.
So that's definitely going to do the number on a pig.
Yeah, that's deadly, and that's only 1,000 feet per second, which is pretty impressive.
That's subsonic. You know, I was catching a lot of flack for wanting to use subsonic loads on a pig hunt, but this confirms what I saw in the field. These subsonics are definitely capable of doing their work.
You know, 300 Blackout in general, just as a hunting cartridge, I think has a lot of charm, even if you just look at it from the standpoint of, okay, I'm a guy, you know, what guy doesn't have an AR laying around? What's the big deal to just swap a barrel before hunting season, throw your favorite optic on there, put a nice trigger in it, or don't, use your military trigger for that matter, and then set it up as a little hunting rig. Okay, so you're not into shooting 300 Blackout on a regular basis on just, you know, everyday stuff.
Right.
What's the big deal to swap it back to 5.56 after hunting season? You know?
I agree.
I really like the idea of that 30 cal punch, you know, good ballistic coefficient, the bullet having a flatter trajectory than something like a 45 ACP have a suppressor.
Yep, it has the ballistic energy, if you look at the math, of roughly a 45 ACP, but because of that ballistic coefficient, it carries that energy further, out to 100 yards. I mean, I was taking 75 yards easy shots on pigs, and it was doing the job. So yeah, that's really interesting. Plus, I like the fact that it's suppressor friendly. I love being able to hunt without having to have ears on. That's the reason I really dig the subsonics.
Yep, I can see that. Let's test a few others.
Yeah, let's give it another shot.
Awesome.
Next, we have the 194 grain Maxima expansion. This is the bullet I was using while hunting down here in Georgia a week ago, and you see the video on my YouTube channel. Let's see how it does. Again, we're shooting it out of a 9-inch barrel. SBR that's suppressed. I heard it hit steel.
All right, Tim, this was kind of weird. What happened?
The bullet made it all the way through the gel, and it kind of looks like perhaps it kind of glanced off the Coke bottle. We don't see any signs of it actually hitting, but the bullet curved to the right substantially, and it actually did hit a steel target.
Look at that.
And there's our bullet.
Check him out.
So that thing wildly expanded.
Yep, you got 100% weight retention.
Yep.
Good expansion, a good permanent cavity that's about, well, that looks like, well, you tell me, but about 9 inches deep.
Like 3 inches wide. About 7 inches in, really expands.
Yep.
Carries through to about 9 inches, 9.5 inches, and then the bullet carried all the way through. It looks like it probably didn't have a whole lot of momentum left, but it had enough to hit that steel plate. We heard it, we found the bullet laying on the ground.
And that's what you killed a pig with.
And that's what I killed a pig with.
Outstanding. Well, let's move on. We're gonna take, I guess, the best one out of these three that we're testing, these subloads, and we're gonna step it up a notch and add some pork ribs and some other things in front of it.
That sounds fun.
Want to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. I can't let Tim have all the fun here, so I'm gonna shoot a 168 grain control fracturing round. This particular one is intended for bolt guns. It won't really reliably cycle semi-auto, but this particular one, the way the pedals are cut, is supposed to have a little bit more limited pass-through so that you get a lot more cavitation, a lot more damage with less pass-through. So let's try it. Gonna shoot the block pretty much in the same exact way Tim did here. Gonna give it a try. In 3, 2, 1. That looked pretty wicked. Let's go have a peek. That was a pretty interesting result, wasn't it?
That is impressive. So, we saw a couple of the pedals exit on both sides of the block. Looks like they did that about 6 inches in. Massive expansion, that first 6 inches. And then we can see the base of the bullet made it all the way to 16 inches. And that's a substantial chunk of metal that's left over. Looks like it turned over and you can see it twisting through, so it leaves a fairly decent little wound cavity all the way up to 16 inches. And that was out of a 9-inch barrel.
Yeah, and you know, most bolt guns are not gonna be a 9-inch barrel, probably gonna be about a 16-inch barrel. So
right.
I can imagine that this will be even more impressive. That's the nice thing about 300 Blackout. You're actually gaining something with more barrel length,
yeah.
But you're achieving a lot with a short barrel too, which
it seems to be a common misconception. I've seen that more than once in the comment section of the videos. People have said, what's the point of running the 300 Blackout out of a 16-inch barrel? We know for a fact that even with a 16-inch barrel, you're still gaining velocity. The bullet doesn't slow down the barrel, so it actually does speed up a little bit. So that's impressive out of a 9-inch barrel.
So out of all 3 of these that we tested just in the naked gel, which was the most impressive to you?
With regards to hunting, I'm going to go with the 194 because we saw the penetration. I want that penetration, especially when you're hunting something that's thick and tough, mostly muscle, like a pig. I think this would do a good job, though. I mean, this thing was designed specifically to dispatch animals for an agency that was looking for it, and it certainly was more than capable of doing it, but the reason I wouldn't choose this one is because I like to run a gas gun,
sure.
And I don't have a 300 bolt action.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's step up the game a little bit and run the 194 again for you.
Okay.
And let's beef this up a little bit.
Beef it up, or you mean pork it up?
And we're gonna pork it up.
Let's pork it up.
Let's do it.
The 194 maximum expansion is my favorite round for hunting pigs. I've actually used it in the field. I think that the bullet weight retention is really good. I like the penetration. I like the fact that it makes one ginormous hole in a pig. What we've set up down here is something that Eric has dubbed the Porkzilla. We've taken 2 sets of pork ribs, put them on the front and back side of a 16-inch block of Dr. Coates FBI gel. We're gonna whack it with this 194 grain pill. Let's see what it does. It should simulate an actual pig in the field as best as we possibly can. It hit the bottle. Holy cow. That's some pretty good penetration. Let's go check it out.
All right, what happened to the Porkzilla?
That is bad ass. Look at that.
Oh yeah, it caught it right in there, didn't it? Look at that.
It did. So it looks like the bullet made it through that first set of ribs. Did it just go through some fat? What did it do here? Looks like it slipped between 2 ribs probably, right here in a big, thick, fatty part of the rib. Looks like it started its expansion right away into the gel. Made it all the way through, and look at that shape of that bullet. That is awesome.
Textbook expansion. This is exactly what you want.
And that's pretty much what I saw in the field. It's pretty much what I saw in the field. I did see one bullet exit, it went, hit the shoulder, came up and went out the neck, but left a hole really big in that pig. But the ones that hit it in the torso, I think that's pretty representative of what we'd see in the field.
For sure. Well, I'll tell you what, let's do something kind of funny here. Let's take all the ribs and stack them up in the front and make like a mutated Ribzilla who has like, 3 rib cages.
All right.
See what happens if you punch through some bone, and I want to see if this thing will expand and carry some bone into the wound channel.
Let's stack it where we have bones up and bones going this way, so we kind of have a grid of bones. What do you say?
A bone baffle.
A bone baffle.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm gonna run Tim's favorite round here, the 194 grain maximum expansion. This one's moving, like he mentioned, around 1,000 feet per second. We got our little mutant pork monster down there with several rows of rib cage there. We're gonna try to get that to drag into the wound track and cause all kinds of mayhem here. So let's give it a little try. Same gun, same load. In 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go have a peek. That was a crazy idea.
I'll say. What do you think there, Dr. Eric?
Dr. Eric, I like the sound of that. Looks like we punched through, oh, look at that.
That's a solid bone hit.
That's solid bone right in the center, and then another
solid bone, right?
Solid bone. It grazed it, but it did pick up some chunks of bone right there. And then it drug it through the wound cavity in there. Nice permanent cavity. We did break off one of the petals, but what kind of penetration we get there?
11.5 inches.
Right, that's just the
Very
gel,
good
though.
penetration.
What about with all this in place?
That's a guess.
I mean, that's
with
yeah,
bone and
sort of a
everything
guess.
else. 15 inches
Awesome.
with bone.
With
that's
bone.
impressive. Again, I like that round for hunting. I think that's a great subsonic load for
Yeah,
hunting.
I mean, I can't think of any animals that have 3 layers of rib cage. You know, we did break a pedal off, but I think that thing had some really erratic.
Look at those hooks, man. That is ferocious.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's like a little eagle swooping in to
Yeah,
get
you can see it was turning and blowing out the gel. That's a nasty permanent cavity.
Yeah, let's grab this out.
And it drug some blood and gore into the block with it.
It sure did. I've seen a lot of these maximum expansion bullets used before, and we've done a lot of testing with them on our channel as well, but I've never seen something like that.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's neat to think that it can take that kind of abuse.
Color me impressed.
Yeah, me too. Let's come up with a few other crazy things to do.
Sounds fun.
Let's do it.
Eric's idea of fun is taking a 170 grain controlled fracturing round and shooting 4 watermelons with it. I'm gonna have to side with Eric on this one. This does look like it might be some fun, and it also might produce some good watermelon to eat. We're gonna go ahead and fire it out of the 9-inch barrel once again and see what it does. Wow. That's cool.
Well, that front one split, didn't it?
It blew up. Well, look at that. Mush. That is the weirdest texture ever. It's totally like, just turned that into like sponge.
They're like zombie brains.
It is zombie brains.
Yeah, exactly.
Blew that sucker up. It's all over here by our feet.
Yeah, let's move that out of the way. Oh, I punched in the second one.
So
there.
watermelon number 1, boom, blown up. Watermelon number 2 came in right here. A little bit of guts poking out. Looks like we had something come through here. Probably, given what we've seen that bullet do in the gel, we probably had pieces going different directions, right? And we got one right here with no exit. So I think we might have a bullet fragment in here.
Maybe.
We might have bullet fragments in that one as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna check.
You want a knife?
Nah. Oh man.
You see something?
Yeah, we'll show that in a minute. Now this
wow.
hole that's in the middle. Let's see what we got.
All right, try not to cut myself here. Where did it hit? Right there. You can see where it came through here.
It couldn't have gone far. It's got to be right there.
I think it stopped right on the back end of this rind right here.
Yep. And while he's looking that up, look at that nasty exit hole, or that plug just went right through there. I mean, that's just crazy. You know, I know it's watermelons. There's a lot of people that are going to go, watermelons, whatever. You know, I'm not shooting watermelons, but it's still an interesting experiment.
Well, you know, watermelons are mostly water, a lot like living tissue.
Yeah. Where the heck is that thing?
I don't know, man.
You're gonna have to eat your way around.
Oh, I feel it. It's right there. It's like dug into the rind. Seen it? Right there.
Oh, okay.
See it?
There it is.
So it's parked right in the rind right there.
Not
see
bad.
if I can get it out of there. Let's see what we got. I think it's the base. No, it's a lot more than I thought. Look at that. Dude, that's
I mean, you got to think those watermelons are pretty thick. I mean, I know it's watermelon, but watermelon rind is pretty tough.
Yep.
And then you got that watery interior. I mean, that's a pretty interesting experiment. I like shooting watermelons.
Cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Absolutely. And they're good to eat too. Hope you don't mind if I take a bite. You want some?
Yeah, go ahead, man. You're good. Well, I'll tell you what. One more fun thing, and then let's wrap this up. I think it's quite clear where our opinions are at on this.
I think so. What do you got in mind? Something
You'll see.
All right,
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
Let's do it.
I don't know what this contraption is that Eric has set up for me down here, but I'm going to shoot it nonetheless and see what it does. It looks like it might be fun. Holy cow, I felt the heat all the way back here. Well, Eric, I had an outstanding time out here this afternoon. I did some screwing around, which was a lot of fun, but we also did some serious testing. And what we saw in our test this afternoon definitely confirms what I saw in the field when I was down here pig hunting a few weeks ago. And this Lehigh Defense 194 grain ME round is the round that I'm going to use in my 300 Blackout pig guns, hunting guns going forward. It's great with suppressors, a nice subsonic load, and it definitely performs the way I like a hunting load to perform. What do you think, man?
I'll tell you what, I have to agree, not to be a hipster and jump on the bandwagon, but that 194, the results don't lie. It definitely did the job, good weight retention, deadly quiet out of that little SBR of Chad's there, good penetration, which is exactly what you want to see in a hunting round. You got the penetrating capabilities, good permanent cavities, good temporal cavities. You see in the ballistics gel footage, just amazing things going on with it. You guys should pop on over to my channel when you get a chance, Iraq Veteran 8888. Tim and I will be on my channel. We're going to be doing a shakedown with a couple of more Lehigh offerings. There's more than what you just saw in this video, and we're going to pit them up in a couple of defensive scenarios just to kind of try them out and see where they stand. And I'm going to put this 194 to work for defensive use too.
Yeah, I think that's what you really should do, is pop over to his channel, check out the second part to this video, and we'll talk about the defensive uses. But for me, like I said, the 300 Blackout with a suppressor and this load is a match made in heaven. And a lot of guys on my previous videos were talking about, why would you want a subsonic load in a 300 Blackout, and why do you want to suppress it? What I saw when I was actually in the field hunting pigs was that when you shot with a suppressor, the pigs scattered everywhere, but they were just as likely to scatter and run towards you. When you're shooting unsuppressed, they know exactly where that gunshot comes from, and every single time they'll run away from you. So there are benefits to using subsonics, and these 194s are awesome.
Well, all three loads that we tested today were in the subsonic realm, which I thought was interesting, and all three loads have their purpose. They all perform beautifully. I don't really see any issue there with any of them. I just tend to kind of favor the 194, the maximum expansion. It's an awesome bullet design.
Totally agreed.
Yep.
Well, guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to pop over and check out Eric's video. Put a link in the description below. If you guys have any questions about anything you've seen in this video, you can ask those questions on our Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/military arms. Also, if you haven't already, please swing by and check out Copper Custom. If you'd like to support the Military Arms channel, it's the best possible way. Shop there, a lot of great products at great prices. And swing by and check out full30.com. That's full30.com. A lot of great content creators like Eric. Of course, the Military Arms channel, other great content creators are found there as well. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, guys.